It's a very beautiful morning. We thank you very much for joining us, especially on a day where a lot of Nigerian football fans are particularly not happy. But then again, the show must definitely go on. 87th minute in that game. That's crucial. That all-important game against RB Celeste of Argentina. Marco Rojo, hero in Argentina, but absolutely villain in Nigerian context. Welcome. It's a very beautiful morning. This is Old Sports. My name is Babajide Guerrero. I will go for a quick break. When we return, the guys are in the studio. Yes, a lot of long faces, of course, as is expected. But hey, football always wins. Remember that for you to get the very best of news and views from Russia, do well to follow us on our social media platforms. That's at HotSportNG across board Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And of course, do well to also subscribe to our YouTube channel at HotSportNG. Guys, it's a beautiful Saturday morning, but I'm not sure if at all the guys are willing to talk sports this morning. But hey, sports always wins. As God Cup, Kunle Salako. Kunle, how you doing? Good morning. It's good to see you for the first time live on Hot Sport. What a day to make your debut.
Well, good morning, good morning. What a day, because it's really sad for me, because I actually really expected, despite those to God, we had high hopes. But you know, it's football. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
And it's a pleasure being on the show. I've been watching this show since forever. It's like the longest sports show on TV. It's the World Cup. It's like the World Cup of all sports shows.
Absolutely.
And I'm really happy to be on the show.
Thank you. What a way to juice up Hotspot. I like that, the World Cup of all sports shows. All right, so Leia was actually on this particular World Cup last week and he did quite well. Leia, how you doing?
Good to be on the show, Babajide. I'm happy I got the name right this time around.
Yes, it was Babatunde last week.
But of course, it's a weekend, and of course, looking back what happened over the course of the weekend, Super Eagles of Nigeria couldn't go a bit forward. They were going 2018 FIFA World Cup. But of course, like you said, football always wins, and of course, we have to look forward at the next 4 years if Nigeria will actually qualify for the next World Cup in Qatar 2022. And of course, we have a lot of fantastic fixtures to look up to.
Leia is in form. He's in mad form. Leia is just going. All right, so guys, that's Leia's opening thoughts. We're going to have an amazing show together, guys. You know for a fact that you can do what to send us text messages on the number on your screen. But it's not only Nigeria now that was ousted from this World Cup from an African perspective. Apparently, guys, Kunle, every African team to have participated at the World Cup this year have gone home in the first round. Is this a particular problem from the first time in 1982, unfortunately?
Well, for me, I'd say it is a problem because when you're ranking footballing continents, Africa should be there. Maybe after South America, Europe, and Africa should follow. And it's really bad seeing all African nations, Egypt, Morocco, Tunisia, Nigeria, and lastly Senegal. Even the way Senegal left the competition was heartbreaking, because they gave all their best and they left just by fair play. For me, that's tactical and discipline.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I'm very sure the coaches would have talked about all those stuff. But you know, it's a very sad one. We're Africans, I'm a Nigerian, you're in Nigeria. We're all Africans at large. And we would have hoped to see
at least one African team.
And it really tells, it shows you the strength of the African side. This is the first time since 1982 in which a single African team won't be going into the knockout stage. So it's a very sad one. I hope they all go back to the drawing board and prepare for Qatar 2022.
You know, unfortunately, the drawing board is never ever filled. It's always having more space. I mean, we hear about the same drawing board over and over again. But if I thought there's something to draw from the World Cup so far, it's the fact that the World Cup has repeated itself in terms of myth or maybe legend. Guys, this is the fourth in the last 5 World Cup that would see the defending champion not crossing over to the second round. Remember that in France 1998, it was France coming into Korea, Japan 2002, and then they didn't get beyond that. Later, we also saw that in 2006, Italy couldn't do the same thing in 2010. Even Brazil, that won the World Cup in 2002, also just got to the quarterfinals. There's this hoodoo, but Germany, you didn't see. Everybody saw Germany even probably retaining this tournament. Where did they get it wrong?
Well, quite for the diamond shaft. I never thought they would actually crash out from the group stage. You know, but of course, that's football. For a group that had likes of Sweden and of course South Korea, you'd have felt that for Germany, they would have done the needful, but it was never to be for them. And of course, I think for Joachim Löw, to wherever he is right now, it will be, so sad and pathetic as regards, the turnout of the event for the German team. No football that they won the FIFA Competitions Cup last time out in Russia, which was a more of the dress rehearsal. But of course, when it mattered most, I think they could just hold their own.
Fortunately for Germany, they will continue this hoodoo in the World Cup as regards defending champion not quite doing well. What that means is that we'll definitely have a new champion, at the World Cup. So far, so good. And this World Cup has been absolutely lit with unpredictability. It's very difficult for you to just put your money where your mouth is, regardless of how much you have in your account. But speaking of how much, it was really, really painful level of pain that we experienced as Nigerians, especially when Marco Rojo. And I can see Kunle was still trying to heave a sigh of relief. Unfortunately, I'm sure Kunle was one of the Nigerians who really thought, we could go all the way. But let's take a look at that team now.
Okay, fine. We fielded, say, the youngest team in this year's competition. A couple of them haven't really gone for the World Cup before. A couple of them, this should be like their first or second major tournament. But for me, I feel like a couple of our guys are playing at the topmost level. We have the likes of Victor Moses, Alex Iwobi, Mikel has played at the topmost level for about 10, 11 years. And they know what it takes to win games like this.
Yeah.
And, for me, the group was even very easy. I think it should be our second easiest group. I could remember 2010, when we had Argentina, South Korea, and a certain Greece. A particular situation like this, we lost our first game to Argentina 1-0. We lost our second game to Greece 2-1. And all we needed in the final game was to just get a win, and we qualify. And I could remember Yakubu, the miss, and we drew 2-2. So for this particular thing, I felt like, one, the players lack concentration, as we at least said. They were complacent, and the coach himself, maybe he was scared, maybe, I don't know. He could have just, a particular sub would have changed the whole game, because there's little pressure that you can take. These guys came into the second half with a mindset of they wanted to get an early goal. They got an early goal as early as the 49th minute. They got a goal. Then Argentina kept coming,
piling
pressure. And once or twice, we got the ball back. We got a couple of chances. The penalty shout, the handball by Makosho, 2 chances by Gaio, Ndidi's ball, Etebo's free kick. And, we got those chances. We could have killed the game. We could have.
So you're saying we had our chances to?
We had our chances to kill that particular game. But then again, the coach should have just made just one particular sub, maybe 1 or 2, calm the nerves of the boys, make them understand that you are doing everything right. Just tired legs, bring them out, bring in new legs, and maybe we won't be where we are today.
So going forward, let's talk about post-World Cup now, guys. Which of these players do you think should still be part of this team going forward? I mean, probably given age or probably selection. 3 matches at the World Cup is good enough to evaluate a player good enough to play in the national team at the next tournament.
Yeah, I think looking at the squad holistically, you did feel that the Super Eagles squad have gotten a lot of young players from the goalkeeper, Francis Ozor, of course, other notable players. For me, really, I think the core of the team will be kept because let's not forget the Super Eagles will surely have to start prosecuting a Nations Cup qualifiers that will be staged in 2019. So, looking at the fact that these players are young, just a few of them might be one of you going forward, or maybe looking at the next World Cup might not be available. Notably, it's going to be Mikel because of his age, and then again, look at players like Ojon Igalo. If he doesn't step up his game, because I feel he has not really justified himself being number 9 striker, main striker for Nigeria, having knowing full well that he has not had so many goal ratio for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. The last time he scored for Nigeria was in the qualifiers against Cameroon, and then Akwa Ibom, which was last year. So aside from that, I think just few, inclusion of some players. Notably was Nwankari, who was actually clamored for after he did so well in the friendly between Nigeria as well as Atletico Madrid when it came to Nigeria. So aside from that, I think the squad for me, they have still got it in terms of gameplay. But of course, you still feel that going forward, 180 million Nigerians, few players still have the ability and of course the
breaking into the team
to great national team ahead of future engagements for the national team. Follow
Hotspot on social media. We are at Hotspot NG on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Okay, so you're welcome back to the show. It's Old Sports. I mean, just about to get this engine revved up at this time. The question this morning is simple. Gernot Rohr, hero or zero? I'll start with Olale.
Well, for the natural, for me, it's 0. Why? Because I think he's actually enjoyed one of the best times so far as being a Super Eagles coach as a foreigner. I know forward that last time Nigeria played in the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil, Coach Stephen Ketchup's memory was able to actually, get Nigeria to second round. In as much as there was not so much support from the NFF, but they throughout this and of course failed, and has failed woefully to have qualified Nigeria not out of the group stage.
Okay, Kole.
Genetua for me is definitely a hero because Nigeria's qualification over the years has been by struggle. This year we were the first African nation to qualify for the World Cup and one of the first nations to qualify for the World Cup in the whole world. He gave a lot of young players the chance to play. He acted as a father to these boys, he marshaled them, and for me, what is an act of a hero? What is that?
So that's it right there. The gentlemen have already dropped their gauntlets. One saying Gennot is a hero, another saying is a 0. The argument proper will resume right after this break. This is Hot Sports. You're welcome back to the show, and before we went on that break, the gentlemen already laid their marker, 0 and 0. So Lale, let's do this. Let's go.
Very abysmal performance from Super Eagles. Really looking at the fact that the first game in which of Nigeria felt the game against Croatia would have been a bedrock. They lost by 2-0. They came back strong against the Icelandic national team, making their debut at the World Cup. And at the end of the day, lost, in more of a traumatic fashion to the Abyss of Argentina. So for me, looking at Genotro, no, it doesn't matter. Looking at Genotro, he's had the best, form of preparation at any stage of the competition for the national team of Nigeria, the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Since 1994, they've qualified for the FIFA World Cup. Yes, Nigeria has done so very well qualifying, but of course, the competition proper did not really prove that as wrong, because you had felt that against Croatia, a lot of people said they played so many beautiful football, they played well, but of course, they didn't do very well. Look, it's not about defeating Argentina. It's about
Argentina in very, 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 very interesting fashion. Argentina considered 3 goals against the Croatian side that only defeats a young Super Eagles side, the youngest team in the World Cup. They even got crappy goals.
The NFF did so well.
They got crappy goals. They got an own goal and a very, very crappy penalty. A penalty that, if not for VAR, some other referees might have known.
It's counted for the Croatian national team. For me, I feel en route to FIFA World Cup, the Nigerian team had one of the best preparation. Let's not forget we played Argentina side in Krasnodar, we won by 4-2. And then they played Poland, we played the English Lions, we played Serbia in Austria. So it has felt that Nigeria had always done so well against European teams at the FIFA World Cup. Croatia is a European team. Of all the wins Nigeria has had at the FIFA World Cup has been against European teams. And of course, the first game, one of felt that if not a win, a draw would have done. But of course, they fought woefully.
World Cup. We had the better squad than 2018.
His team was
2010 World Cup. We had a better squad than 2018. A far better squad than 2018.
But of course, they never had the best preparation.
No, we didn't move through. No, we didn't go through. We didn't go through. We didn't go through.
The NFF did their bit.
2014, we had a better squad than this same particular team. We went through scrappy chances. Now, if you are saying preparation, are you trying to tell me that it's only the Super Eagles that had a very good preparation
in the history of Nigeria?
Didn't the German team have a very good preparation? The German team are the defending champion. The German team are the defending champion. They have to back off winning the Champions League 4 times.
For me, I think for Genotro, he's been taking excuses from the fact that the Nigerian team is a young team. That should not be an excuse. Because why is Nigerians having this disappointed?
Let's look at this team in proper perspective. Was the Nigerian team ever going to win the World Cup going into this World Cup?
They were never going to win the World Cup, but of course they were supposed to surpass the previous record. 2014, certification of blessed memory in 2014 was able to qualify the Super Eagles for the second round, and we met our statement against the French national team. But of course,
which one was more experienced?
Genot's team, which claims that they are young. You are saying they are young, but this young team was able to qualify Nigeria.
This should be second year in Nigeria. He brought in very young boys.
So it's not an excuse. This same team were able to come through the qualifiers.
Do you know Zo? I'm asking you a question. If you not for Genotro, do you know Zo?
It's because
now if not for Genotro, will Obi's Super Eagles career be reignited? If not for Genotro, I don't know if
Francis Zo, I don't know if Ifeanyi Ezewa, he should not even be in the squad for the first place. If not for Genotro, I first time in 28 years.
If not for
qualify
Genetua,
for
I
the
don't know
World
who
Cup and sack Hector Cooper.
If not for
So for me,
Genetua, who is
Raw
banned?
is a failure.
Now
He
these
has
boys
failed
have shown
Nigerians.
us, they've given us reasons to be happy for Qatar 2022. All these
What
boys
makes
down
you
to the
feel
fact that
a crop
Genetua
of
is
those
national
players
team
to make
coach.
it to 2022?
They
Is
will
there a
surely
plan?
will.
Is there a
What
plan
gives
for
me-
Genetua?
what
Is
gives me
Genetua
that-
will
what
leave
gives
me
me
there?
that- what gives me
Till
that right to
2022?
say
The
this?
question is
Because
no.
I know Genetua is. Genetua is a
He
coach
clocked
that
65
gives
over the course
boys,
of the week.
He gives the
He
boys
won't
the
be there.
chance.
It's
For
no
example,
course.
let me give you a very good example. This is one of the first coaches that Nigeria has had that did not just use our money to travel about. I can remember a certain Betty Vokes and a certain Las Lagaba.
It's not about traveling about. We are
A
talking
particular
about
coach that
2018
said he was
proper.
coaching our
Nigeria
national team
failed to
and was
qualify
based in
for the
Germany.
second
Betty
round.
Vokes. A particular Las Lagaba that was coaching our general.
Nigeria had the best chance to have qualified when he didn't qualify. But he claimed the team is young.
Player in any other team.
These guys got prepared well enough.
He went to Scotland. He
At
went
their
around.
expense,
He
Super
spoke to these
Falcons
boys. He was
suffered.
a
Other
father
age
to
group
them.
teams suffered. For them
What else
to
do we
go
want?
as far as the
What
World
else
Cup.
do we want? Do we want
But
a
of course,
coach?
they couldn't go beyond the first round.
We want a coach that will just sit down here or sit down anywhere,
It's not about
anywhere else,
okay.
and just run
Looking
the
at the
affairs
league
of the
itself,
team.
how many
Or a
players from the
coach
Nigerian league
that
have gone to the
knows
World
what he
Cup?
wants. A coach
From
that
that
knows his
perspective,
onions.
no.
A coach that
Aside
beseeches
from
the
Ezewa.
players to come down here and play for him. I can tell you categorically, Dwayne who had the opportunity of playing for Russia, if I'm not mistaken. True. Taiwo Eboye had the opportunity of playing for Holland, and I tell you categorically, if he had chosen Holland, he would have walked into that team because the Dutch team, they are very, very
The
young
issue
side.
is-
Now I'm telling you,
the only
if
issue
Genetua
is
can go,
Nigeria
convince these boys
failed to
and make them
qualify
understand that
for the
yes, I'm
second
here
round.
for you.
You know,
I'm here for you.
These
You
are
people will play
parameters that have not
football.
worked.
And we are
All of
we
these
were
guys
so,
you
we were
said
so
were being
amazed.
brought together,
I'm so
but
sure
yet
that you
couldn't
yourself, you
qualify
are
for
amazed
group B.
at the way.
I'm
No, I'm so
not
sure you were very
amazed.
amazed
I
at
am
the way
not
they played
amazed.
against
You know what?
Argentina.
I'm not amazed
And
because
Etebo,
they failed in its entirety.
Etebo, that
In its
I can say
entirety, they
going
failed.
into the World Cup,
And of course,
going into
they
the
are being
World
led
Cup,
by the law.
no team knows Ogenet Etebo. He kept Lionel Messi quiet for 90 minutes.
So what happened at the end
else
of the
do you
day?
want?
We lost it cool, and of course we are out of the World Cup.
Kule has given us some, wow, it's actually hot in here. Kule has given us some parameters to judge the heroism of Genetora.
Yes.
Leye, what are the parameters to judge that Genetora is actually a zero?
Yes. I just
Well,
want to
it's
listen to you.
quite simple. He failed to actually go beyond record being
Is he the
set.
first coach to
Excuse me, let me talk. He
Okay.
failed to actually go past Stephen Keshi's of blessed memory. And let's not forget, Stephen Keshi, the issue of Nigerian football, is the first local coach to have coached Nigeria in none of our 6 appearances. All others have been white men.
Yeah.
But of course, if the yardstick given by Stephen Keshi has been there, and yet he didn't have the better preparation through the World Cup in 2014 in Brazil than the one Genetora has actually enjoyed. But of course, Genetora has came out and said that he has a young squad. Yeah. That is no excuse. You have been given the right preparation. Everyone knows, even the issue of bonuses were cleared. There were no issue of, excuse me, there were no issue of bonus being owed. So all of these are just excuses. The World Cup proper has come. Nigeria failed to qualify with second round.
What did he have that Germany did not have? What did this coach have that France did not have? What did this coach have that Argentina did not have?
If you keep talking about Germany, Germany has won the World Cup before. Nigeria has never won the World Cup.
As an African nation won the World Cup?
No, they have not. So why
has won the World
you bring Germany
Cup.
to
If
the
you are saying the
picture?
coach and you still say he's the Senegalese
Germany
coach, I had
invested so much
I had a lot of
in
clamor on social
football.
media saying
Nigeria
he's
were
the
giving
youngest
so
coach in the
much ahead of the World
competition.
Cup.
He's the
They
only
couldn't
African
perform.
coach in the
So
competition.
it's
For Christ's
quite
sake, where
wrong.
did he take Senegal? Player for player, Senegalese team, they are a better side than the Nigerian team.
We are
Player
talking
for player.
about
I'm telling you, so
how the team perform at the
what
World
else
Cup
do you want Genetra
and
to
the
do?
kind of plan
What
given.
gave you the impression that if Nigeria is in Senegal's group,
The
we will
question
qualify?
is,
If Nigeria is in
Genetra
Egypt's
as the
group, we
head
will
coach
qualify. If Nigeria is
failed
in Egypt's group, we will
as the
qualify.
coach of Nigeria.
You still haven't
Why?
given
Because
the reason.
the
Are you
reason
trying
is
to
that they prepared well,
Are you
yet
trying to base
couldn't perform well.
Are you trying to base Genetra's success based on the World Cup alone?
Yes, because we call it the World Cup.
No.
Yes, it is
If
the World
you are
Cup.
going to,
The World Cup is the biggest stage of any national team.
Then, yeah,
if
you
you
are
have
going to rate
another
Genetra,
17,
you rate
another
him on 3
20,
teams.
the World Cup is
You
the
rate
biggest
Genetra
stage.
on 3 things. 1, the qualification for the World Cup. 2, the World Cup itself. Then
If you are talking
the
this
AFCON
way,
qualification.
Egypt already
He
sent
passed
Hector
one.
Cooper,
He passed
who
1.
qualified for the first time in 28
Egypt
years.
did
They
not
had
sack
a-
Cooper.
they sacked him.
Cooper himself honorably resigned.
He was
I'm
sacked.
giving you reasons
parameters
So
where you can
these
judge
are
Genetra.
excuses.
He has passed one.
Genetra
He has
told
failed
us
one.
that he's still
Why not give
young.
him the opportunity to pass the second
The third one.
Why not give him the opportunity to pass the second? He
Gentlemen,
qualified us for the World Cup. He didn't do well in the World Cup. He will definitely qualify us for AFCON.
Kunle and Leye has had it hammer and thongs in here. They've threw everything, including the kitchen sink, at each other, and it's been absolutely phenomenal conversation we've had here. I'm sure everyone, every viewer at this point, absolutely love what they've listened to. Of course, if at all you've heard it and of course you've loved it, do well to reach us through us on social media and the SMS platform on your screen. So, Leye, your final thoughts. 0 means Genetra should be sacked.
Why not? He wants to be sacked because the biggest stage of any footballing nation is the FIFA World Cup. So you expect that if you don't perform well, despite the whole of the preparation given to you, why would you wouldn't still be there? A lot of coaches really want to take your time, your chances.
Absolutely. Kunle, being hero means you should maintain the job and complete the third phase that you mentioned.
Yeah. Before Genetra, I'm so sure if Nigeria wanted to play Iceland, Croatia, or Argentina, we ourselves would tell ourselves we can't win those games. But when Genetra was there, we were beating our chest. We will match Argentina toe to toe, and we actually did. So what are you now saying? How would you want them to sack a coach like that? I gave you 3 parameters. He qualified us for the World Cup in beautiful fashion, excellent fashion. Even coupled with the fact that they deducted our points, we were still top of that group. And don't forget, we qualified in a group where there was Zambia, a team rated ahead of us, 1. A group where there was Cameroon, AFCON winners. A group where there was Algeria, the top ranked team in Africa, with the likes of Brahimi, Slimani, Mahrez, Ben Taleb. So what else do you want from Genetra? He has done fantastically well. Why not let us give him the opportunity to qualify us for the AFCON, which I can beat my chest that I will, and we will definitely win the AFCON. Because the World Cup is a phase. Now the AFCON is a different phase.
Kunle Salako right there giving us his final thoughts on Hotspot this morning, but definitely I will return with the final whistle on the subject. The gentlemen have gone hammer and tongs this morning, and of course they've done amazing justice to the subject matter. But I think the final whistle is that every coach has got its own obligations, and of course one of the obligations for a young team like the Nigerian team is something for the future. And I also strongly believe that the contract extension of Genetra means that the NFF are looking at post-World Cup regardless of the situation that emanates from either winning or losing the World Cup. But realistically, Nigeria probably maybe was not going to win the World Cup eventually, but it was just something for the future. The team is a relatively young team. And yes, I think that's my thought. I think Genetra should be left in charge of this team because he obviously has brought a lot of hope and new feel to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And the feel that we want you to do is just to go to our social media platforms, to do well to follow and mention us, and as well as do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Hotspot NG. And finally on the show, guys, before we go, Wimbledon will be starting and very soon. And of course, Lale, you can confirm to us that Serena Williams is one of the seeded players, 25th seed, but chances of Serena winning this particular, if Uluweda, she's just coming back from her maternity leave.
Yeah, good one now for Serena Williams. Of course, I gave him birth last year, September, and of course, though she participated at the Roland Garros, but of course, she didn't do well for herself. She had to retire, I think, in the second set against, talking about the Russian, Sharapova. So, but this time around, giving her a very good, seed ahead of Wimbledon. She's a former winner of this competition. Of course, it is good to see that at least she'll be able to grace, the courts yet again. Of course, because fans truly always love, seeing her where she play with her powerful, physical, appearance. Of course, the agility on the court. Good one for Serena Williams, and hopefully she does have a fantastic tournament.
Oh, well, another fantastic tournament would definitely await the Rafael Nadal. Has been absolutely phenomenal this season, and of course we'll be looking forward to even adding Wimbledon to his Grand Slams this season. Guys, it's been absolutely fantastic to have been joined by you guys watching at home, and most importantly, the guys in the studio. Kunle Salako, what a debut today. Well done, Kunle. How you doing? Everything all right? I mean, after giving so much hot, conversation on Hotspot, but thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Well, it's Hotspot, and I told you it's like the World Cup of all sport shows, and I'm really, really happy, very, very elated to be here. and I hope to be here again.
Definitely you will be here again. I mean, not even after this kind of conversation you've given us this morning, definitely be looking forward to having you. Leye, as well, thank you so very much for coming.
My pleasure to be here this lovely Saturday morning. Hopefully, I did be here again.
And you guys are looking good enough to go for an Owambe. So probably after this, just head to an Owambe. All right, guys, thank you so very much for joining us. It's been absolutely brilliant. Throwing fully well that you guys have been there. You guys make this show what it is. You guys make this show the longest running sports show on Nigerian television. We thank you so very much. My name is Babaji De Guerra, and until I come your way again next week, remember, God bless everyone, including you.